Bakersfield question.
November 6077 X-ray center. November 6077 X-ray, contact L center 127.1. Hey, Bakersfield sector 17, north or south, I mean.
Bakersfield?
Can you try number, if you see if you have number 6077 X-ray?
6077 X-ray?
Yeah, 6077 X-ray.
And what frequency you want on?
127.1.
127.1,
Thanks.
17 Bakersfield, no response.
No response, thanks. 17, can you see if you have November 6077 X-ray, 6077 X-ray?
Stand by, November 6077 X-ray?
Yeah, it
Loco.
came from me a long time ago.
Alright.
Callan flight 938, contact Josh approach 124.55.
2455, Callan flight 938, today. Delay, hello, November 999 Lima Romeo is out of 27.3 to cross shows at 240.
999 Lima Romeo, sonar, descend and maintain full 200.
Maintain 200, 999 Lima Romeo.
This is 6077 X-ray, the pilot has passed out.
Number 6077 X-ray, are you the co-pilot?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Roger. I'm declaring an emergency at this time. You want to land at Bakersfield?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to land.
Okay.
I'm in training.
Okay, 77 X-ray, Roger.
This is 6077 X-ray. Please instruct.
Number 6077 X-ray, fly, maintain flow 200. That's what you're doing now. Just fly present heading. We're working on something right now. Are you able? Okay, here we go. Number 6077 X-ray, contact LA Center now, 127.1. November 6077 X-ray, this is LA Center on guard. Contact LA Center now on 127.1.
127.1.
Take that.
Hi, can you open 3, please? Thanks, sir.
Center 5, pick it back.
Say the call sign again?
Yeah, 755, pick it back. We can help in any way if you need it.
Yeah, you guys are 100 miles opposite direction. She's over the Bakersfield area. Thanks for your help.
What kind of airplane is it?
King Air. Put her on a new frequency. Hopefully, that guy that working there, talking to her now, he's a pilot and a flight instructor.
We're listening on the other radio. She's scared to death, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm an airline guy. If you need any help, we can help you.
Okay.
Center, this is 3049er Alpha. I have a flight department in Bakersfield. We operate King Airs. I can get you the number of a King Air captain if you want it.
3049 Alpha, say that again?
I operate a flight department out of Bakersfield. We have King Air pilots and captains in Bakersfield. I can get you a phone number if you need it.
Yes, give me that number, thanks. 3049 Alpha, yes. Can I have that phone number?
Yep, stand by. Okay, this is Courtney 661 1.
661? Courtney, right?
Affirmative. And if you don't get a hold of her, I'll give you another number.
Okay, we'll try that right now.
LA Center, Station Air 72634, checking in 14,500.
Say that call sign again?
November 72634, 14,500.
72634, Elsinore, Daggett altimeter is 2997.
2997, 634. And last thing, LA, this is 3049er Alpha. I'm also a current King Air captain. I don't know how to talk to that person, but I can help her if you need it.
Monitor 127.1, 3049er Alpha, monitor 127.1 as well as this frequency if you can. That's the frequency she's on, and you'll be able to help if you can, I guess.
Okay, I'll call LA 271. I'll monitor you for 49er Alpha.
Okay, Roger. Number 1680 Whiskey, contact L Center 134.65.
3465, 80 Whiskey.
Number 7552 Quebec, contact L Center 134.65.
3465, 5 to Quebec, good shot.
Number 999 Lima Romeo, descend maintain 14,014, Palmdale, altimeter 3002.
Down to 14,000, Lima Romeo.
14, Newport.
Hello, full flight 1242, checking in. Model was 190 for 16,000.
For flight 1242, Elsinore, the Daggett altimeter is 2997.
2997 for full flight 1242.
17 all over course.
17.
9 Lima Romeo, 1 able 280 knots or less.
Roger, Robbie. Number 999 Lima Romeo, maintain do not exceed 280 knots.
Phone it and hold the 280 for 9 Lima Romeo.
King Air 6077 X-ray.
King Air 77 X-ray, this is Los Angeles Center. I hear you loud and clear, and I am a flight instructor here to help you.
Okay, I'm in need of help right now.
Or 77 X-ray, I'm sorry, say that one more time, please, slower.
I need some help. The pilot has passed out.
Or 77 X-ray, Roger. Are you the only person on board the airplane right now?
Yes, I am. I'm sitting in the right seat. I know very little about flying the King Air.
Or 77 X-ray, Roger. Right now, I show you level 200. Do you know if the autopilot is on?
Yes, it is.
Or 77 X-ray, Roger. At this time, you are perfectly safe where you are. We're going to work some things down here and get back to you in a couple minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And number 77 X-ray, I'm going to keep talking to you. My name is Kevin. I am a flight instructor with a couple hours in a King Air, so I'm going to see what I can do to help you. My only question is, do you know if there's an oxygen mask near you, probably behind the seat?
I took the oxygen mask off the ceiling.
Okay, go ahead and see if you can put it over the pilot's nose and mouth as tight as you can, and let me know what happens over the next couple minutes. And number 77 X-ray, while you're doing that, I believe you said you had some flying experience. You're learning how to fly the King Air right now?
Yes, very little, but I'm trying.
Okay. What is your pilot certifications? Are you commercial with multi-engine?
No, I'm just a student. I haven't flown for years.
Over 77 X-ray, okay, not a problem. Over 77 X-ray, there are plenty of airports around, and are you able to see how many pounds or gallons of fuel you have left on board the airplane?
We have 8.5.
Roger.
Both engines.
Or 77 X-ray, okay, very good.
The oxygen mask isn't working.
Or 77 X-ray, Roger, we copy.
17L over request.
Or 77 X-ray, Roger. We're going to work on getting you lower out of the flight levels here momentarily. We're just looking up a picture of the cockpit of the airplane to familiarize myself. And do you see where the autopilot is? And if so, anything that says ALT, altitude, a knob?
Yes, I do.
Okay, 77 X-ray. In between the two seats, below the cockpit panel, will be the thrust levers for the airplane, the two throttle quadrants for the airplane. Would you mind reducing those back approximately 3 inches?
I'm not sure where you're talking about.
We're 77 X-ray. We're trying to get you to descend the airplane, and in order to do so, we need you to reduce the power on the airplane so we can initiate a descent.
Let me get my headset. I'm using his headset. It's cumbersome right now.
Okay, take your time whenever you're ready. Over 77 X-ray. If you are comfortable, our plan is to take you to the north of your current position and get the airplane safely on the ground at what's called Bakersfield Meadows Field. It's a long international airport runway, and there's a controller down there that has experience with the type of airplane you're in. How comfortable are you in maybe turning off the autopilot and trying to hand fly that airplane?
I can try.
Or 77 X-ray, Roger. There should be an AP disconnect either button on the control yoke that you can press or somewhere on the panel. Where you found the altitude and heading buttons, you should be able to turn the autopilot off. Do you see any of that? Over 77 X-ray, as you attempt to disconnect the autopilot, be aware the airplane will be trimmed for level flight, and so it might pitch up or pitch down on you. The nose might go up or down on you, so at that point you would just use the yoke in front of you to keep the airplane straight and level. Over 77 X-ray, what is your name?
My name's Yvonne.
Okay, Yvonne, just want to make sure you're still with me. We'd like to get you to start turning the airplane to the right if you're able to do that.
Okay, I have to release the autopilot though, right?
Our 77 X-ray, yeah, that would probably be the best course of action. If you have some limited flying experience, do you feel comfortable hand flying the airplane with the control yoke?
I'm very limited.
November 77 X-ray, roger. We did look up a picture of that particular airplane you're in, and it appears that the autopilot controls are on that center quadrant down low in between the seats. Do you see any of those controls down to your left side?
The autopilot controls?
Affirmative. We're trying to get you to turn off the autopilot, and we believe the controls to do so are on that center console where the throttle levers are, below that, in between the seats.
Okay, would it be HGZ?
I believe you said you were asking if it's APZ?
AHGZ.
I believe that's altitude hold, and that's what's keeping you level right now. Do you see an AP off or AP disconnect?
I see APPR.
Yeah, that's for the approach. Okay. On your control column, on your control yoke, the steering wheel of the airplane, do you see anything that says AP disconnect, usually a red button?
I see disconnect, DSC.
We believe that would be it. And so if you were to push that button, that would release the autopilot, we believe. At that point, you would be hand flying the airplane. If you're comfortable doing so, please push that button.
Do you want me to go lower altitude before I do the... No, I'm not that comfortable flying this by myself.
Okay. In that case, let's just stay where we're at and try to work with the autopilot. Do you see anything that says HDG with 3 numbers? You're probably going to see a number of like 260 or 270 right now with HDG.
I see HDZ.
HDG as in golf?
Yes.
Okay, is that a knob?
No, it's a button. It's just a push button.
Okay. Do you see any sort of window that you can select a new heading, a new HDG?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, a window.
Do you see a display in the cockpit on the panel that says HDG and then has a 3-digit number associated with it?
No, I don't see any. No, I see the HDG, but the numbers, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay, Yvonne, I'm going to let another co-worker of mine who has piloting experience talk to you for a minute. His name is Sean.
Hey Yvonne, this is Sean. I'm also a flight instructor here with Kevin. And if you could locate the autopilot area that basically has HDG, ALT, that's the autopilot main panel. Around there should be some knobs. On those knobs, sometimes they'll say ALT or hold, HLD. Some of those knobs allow you to select altitudes. Some knobs allow you to select headings. And on the more sophisticated autopilots, the knobs will let you select a speed. We were looking for the ones that say heading or HDG with the goal of turning you to the right, towards the north. If you find that knob, we can spin it to the right to like a 030 heading.
Okay, I have HDG. I'm not sure where the knobs are, though.
So the HDG is just a button?
Yes.
Okay, so somewhere around there on the panel, maybe within a couple inches left or right, maybe up or down. It might be above the co-pilot instruments, but we're looking for a knob that you can spin that has HDG.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so once you find that heading knob that you can spin, do me a favor and turn it left and right or one or the other, just 1 or 2 clicks so you can make sure that the heading is controlled by that knob, and then we can establish that that is the correct knob we're looking for. And then once you have figured out that that knob is the one that controls the heading, we can turn you back towards the right. We're trying to get you to land at Bakersfield just because the airport there is very large, very long, and it's nice and flat and open.
Going has a hot mic on guard.
Okay, you want me to push the HDG and then, or do you want me to push the knobs first?
We're looking for the knob. The HDG button just turns the autopilot on to maintain your present heading, so that won't help us in this situation. If you're looking to maintain a present heading, that's how you do it. But we're trying to turn the aircraft, so if you could find that knob to spin, that would allow us to turn.
Okay, so you want me to turn the knob before I turn off the HDG?
Correct. Just turn the knob to make sure that that's the knob we're looking for, and if it's the correct knob, the aircraft will turn towards whichever direction you're spinning it. How's it going, Yvonne? Were you able to find that knob?
No, I found a couple knobs, but first they have a navigation data course, they have a course push CRS direct.
So the course direct would be on your GPS. That will get you direct to a fix. But we're trying to just get you on a heading right now. There is another pilot coming on frequency right now who's familiar with the King Air. He's going to try to help us as well.
LA3, new line, Oakland 11.
Center, King Air 17 Victor Alpha is 14.5 VFR. Understand we're working with Yvonne.
King Air 17 Victor Alpha, this is LA Center. Thanks for checking on. We're working with Yvonne, who's in a King Air right now, King Air 90, and we're trying to figure out how to use the navigation equipment on the autopilot to get her to turn to the right. She's currently autopilot activated, and we're trying to find the correct knob to adjust her heading.
Okay. So Yvonne, are you with me?
Yes, I am. This model's a 2003.
Okay. Do you know? And you are a pilot?
No, I am not.
Okay. Do you know what kind of avionics you're looking at? Is it Garmin? Something else?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Do you know what kind of avionics you're looking at?
I am not sure.
Hey Yvonne, this is Sean again. I think that right now the best course of action would be to disconnect the autopilot and hand fly it if you're comfortable with that. I'm just worried that you're going to stay on this heading for too long and then we won't be able to talk to you.
Oh, okay. So take it off with heading, HDG.
So right now, the HDG button is just something that you would use if you want to maintain present heading. Your autopilot is already on, so the HDG won't really do anything for you.
And Yvonne, what does the screen look like in front of you?
Like a 3-4, Bakersfield.
I'm almost at Bakers.
Yvonne, this is Kevin again, the one that was talking to you originally. We're talking to a King Air pilot on the ground at Bakersfield. She's an air traffic controller down you. We're actually trying to get you over to that airport. She did say if you look on the pilot side by the compass, there might be a knob where you can turn to select a new heading. Do you see anything by the compass, the northeast-southwest instrument?
Are we looking at on top by the compass, or are we looking in the compass in the center of the airplane?
Somewhere over on the left side of the airplane where your pilot is sitting, on the instrument panel.
Okay. I have the vertical speed, the avionics, altimeter.
Is the heading on the left, is that lit?
LA3, Oakland 16
The
on the old line corner.
compass, next to the window, it has nav, it says nav on it.
Okay. Do you see the things that you were reading out on the bottom right or left side of the screen where it said barometer, course, indicated airspeed, vertical speed, altitude, heading? Do you see that?
No.
Yvonne, I have a question. This is Sean again. Is the cockpit laid out with a bunch of screens, or is it individual instruments that are in the 6-pack format?
They have individual instrument, like in a 6-pack format, round circles.
Okay, so on the left side where the captain was sitting, above the yoke, there should be a vertical column of instruments, At the very, very top center is the attitude indicator. That's the one that tells you you're straight and level. Below that should be the compass slash heading indicator, and that's the one that we're trying to get turned. On the bottom left or the bottom right of that instrument, there should be a knob that you can push in and then spin, and that will allow you to select a new heading.
Okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing.
That's okay. The heading indicator, the one right below the attitude indicator, shows you what course you're currently on. And the knobs down there allow you to select and pre-select what your intended route is going to be. Those are the ones we're trying to spin. Are you able to see those?
I have the attitude reader.
Hey, Yvonne, can you do me a favor and make sure that that oxygen mask is on you? Yvonne, were you able to locate your oxygen mask and put it on?
But if she does that, she's going to have to switch to mask on there's a switch, and that's going to start a whole new set of issues.
Yvonne, how are you doing up there? This is Kevin again.
I can't talk to you if I have the oxygen mask on, and I can't have the headset on.
Or 77 X-ray. Yvonne, we understand that. We need to try to get you turned around, though. That's what we're trying to do. Number 77 X-ray, Yvonne, this is Kevin again. Up on the top of the instrument panel, do you see any knobs up there?
Okay, on the instrument panel. Okay.
Or 77 X-ray. If you can at all turn the airplane using a knob that says HDG or CRS, course or heading, we would like you to try that.
Okay, so HDG, hit that. You want me to press HDG?
Or 77 X-ray, is that button lit up right now?
Above it, it has ALT.
Number 77 X-ray, yeah, push the HDG button and let me know what the airplane does after that.
We're turning.
Okay, 77 X-ray, we do see you turning to the left, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, is the airplane appearing to stay level?
It's level.
Okay, very good. We see you turning to the left, and do you see a 3-digit number near that heading button to tell me what heading it will be turning to?
A 3-digit number. I'm not sure. Where am I looking at?
Number 77 X-ray, we see that you have now turned leveled the wings back out on a new heading. Do you see the wings level?
Yes, I see that.
All right, so do me a favor and continue the turn to the left. We don't really need you on a heading. We can just tell you continue turn, stop turn, continue turn, stop turn, if you're okay with that.
On the old information.
Can you continue turn left?
That is correct. Continue your turn to your left.
It's not turning.
All right, very good. We will let you know when we want you to stop your turn. Just keep the turn going and make sure that the turn is nice and comfortable for you.
I have no control.
What button did you press to make your initial turn to the left?
HDG.
And if you press that again, what happens? Okay, so Yvonne, Kevin and I were talking, and we think that your GPS was set up to fly a specific route prior to you hitting the HDG button. And then once you hit the HDG button, the autopilot flew to a specific heading that was pre-selected that is not on your course. So I think that it was just a coincidence that you turned to the left. And if you go back to the instruments that we were looking at before, right above the yoke, underneath the attitude indicator, if you spin that dial, push it in and spin it, or just spin it, that might be the turn that we need you to do. Now that you're on heading mode, it'll work.
Okay, yeah, it's still turning, I think.
Yvonne, are you turning?
Yes, I can't turn right. It's on its own. I can't, I am not, the plane is on its own.
Okay, so right now the GPS is following a predetermined route that the pilot had put in his flight plan. And I think that's what's happening. Is there any way that you can take manual control of the airplane so that we are not on that route?
Center King Air 17 Victor Alpha, do you want me to stay in the South Valley here?
17 Victor Alpha, negative. If you, if you continue on, that's on you.
Well, I can help any way I can, but I'm not, it's a hard one.
King Air Victor Alpha, roger. By the way, the Bakersfield altimeter 29901.
901, and
All right, Yvonne, it looks like you're turning back to the right. Is that you doing that, or is that the autopilot?
Yes, I did it.
Okay, that's great. I think that is perfect. Keep coming to the right. And Yvonne, are you still level with the horizon, or are you descending or climbing?
I took the ALT off.
Okay. Keep coming to the right. Keep coming to the right. Maintain your current altitude. You're doing a great job. Yvonne, you're doing a great job. Keep coming with that turn. You're almost done turning. I'd say about 10 more seconds in that turn, Yvonne, and then you can go wings level and proceed on that new heading. So about 8 more seconds from now. All right, Yvonne, that looks good.
Should I push the alt button again?
Can you say that again, please? I couldn't hear you.
Should I push the altimeter ALT button again?
I would push the HDG button if that can get you to maintain wings level present heading.
LA3 sector 10 on the old.
How's it looking, Yvonne? You look really good for us right now. Yvonne, were you able to stop the turn?
No, it's still turning.
Okay, what did you do to initiate the turn so we can undo that just to get the aircraft back on a level wings?
I hit the ALT button.
So the ALT button is going to keep you at a level altitude, and we're trying to get you on a heading back towards Bakersfield. Are you able to... Hey, Yvonne, we have another King Air that's directly below you. He's about 3 miles behind you and about 5,000 feet below. He's going to fly up next to you, and he'll get on frequency with us, and he'll help guide you back the way we need to go. Yvonne, it's looking like you're descending. Are you able to level off, get the wings back level with the horizon, and put the nose back level with the horizon?
I have a lot of resistance.
That's the autopilot. So right now the autopilot is on. If you press the autopilot disconnect, you will be hand flying the airplane, but we'll have a lot more control over the airplane as well.
I disconnect.
Okay, you disconnected the autopilot, so what I want you to do is have the yoke in your hands with both hands. Make your hands parallel to each other, parallel to the ground. Your wings will be level, and then you want to pull back slightly on the yoke so that your nose is pointing at the horizon.
I have a lot of resistance. What should I do with that?
The trim wheel probably is the problem. So there should be a trim button or a trim wheel to the left of the throttles. It's a big black wheel that you need to push down, spin down towards the floor. Were you able to find the trim wheel to the left of the throttles? Yvonne, it looks like you were able to stop your descent. That is great. If you're able to get your wings level, so we stop turning, and hold on to the elevator, the yoke in front of you, you're going to either pull it back to stop your descent or push it forward a little bit to stop your climb. Yvonne, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, were you able to get the trim located and adjusted so we can stop our descent? Yvonne, we're still descending a little bit, so if you haven't found the trim wheel yet, do me a favor, take a look at it on the left side of the throttle, and you're going to spin it towards the ground to get the trim to stop the descent, and once you are able to do that, let me know. Yvonne, from here, it looks like you did stop your descent. Can you confirm that for me?
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. I'm really glad you're able to stop the descent. You're at a great altitude right now. You don't need to worry about climbing or descending. So if you're able to maintain your current altitude, that's all we need from you. Are you able to do that right now?
I could try.
Perfect. You're doing a great job. Now, what I'd like you to do, now that you're stable, wings level, and you're not descending anymore, I'd like you to begin a slow, gradual turn to the right. And remember, as you begin that right-hand turn, the plane will want to descend a little bit because it loses that upward lift. So you might need to pull back a little bit on the elevator, on the yoke, and as you turn, maintain your altitude. Troy 315, LA Center.
Go ahead.
Troy 315, the King Air is at your 1 o'clock and 3 miles southeastbound. If you are able to, they're currently level at level 180. You can come up to their altitude.
All right, we'll try to come up to level 180, Troy 315.
Yvonne, the other King Air is on frequency right now. They're going to turn to come up next to you. You're doing a really good job on your heading. You can stop your turn, so get your wings level so we no longer turn. You did climb a little bit, which we don't need anymore. You can put the nose back towards the horizon, so we stop climbing.
Once that Victor Alpha is going to start a VFR descent.
Victor Alpha, roger. Yvonne, were you able to get the wings level and the nose pointed at the horizon again?
Yes, I have.
All right, you're doing a fantastic job. Can you do me a favor and look on the airspeed indicator and tell me what that says?
159.
159, okay, that's great. Now remember, if you pitch up, your airspeed will go down, and if you pitch down, your airspeed will go up. So every time you go up in your attitude, when you pull the aircraft back and you go up, you're going to slow down, and if you push the aircraft over, you're going to speed up. Are you familiar with that concept?
Yes.
15 Bakersfield V4.0.
Okay, so right now you're doing an absolutely perfect job. Your wings are level, your altitude is level, your airspeed is good. We're drifting a little bit to the left, so if you could come back towards the right a little bit, and we're going to get you back towards Bakersfield.
17 Antelope.
Now, Yvonne, I know you're flying a King Air, which is a twin-engine turboprop, but it's a very docile, very easy-to-fly airplane, and you're doing a fantastic job. As long as those throttle levers for the left engine and the right engine are right next to each other, it's going to behave just like a single-engine airplane. So you don't need to worry about the fact that it's a twin engine. You're doing a great job flying it. You are pointing up a little bit too much, so if you could push the nose over just a little bit, because we are climbing more than we need to.
Or 7 Victor Alpha, contact Fresno 132.35. Thanks for all your help.
I'll cancel now, and you guys are doing great.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yvonne, your heading is great. You're pointing where you need to be. You stopped your climb. You're doing a great job. Just stay on that heading, maintain your current altitude, and we're going to get you back to Bakersfield. Troy 315, King Air 1 o'clock, 3 miles.
Troy 315, you got him in TCAS, negative visual.
Okay.
LA 15, Oakland 10, old line.
Troy 315, her name is Yvonne. If you need to do any communication with her.
Troy 315, copy.
Yvonne, how are you doing? Are you able to keep the wings level and the nose straight? Is that something they're able to do right now?
LA 15, Oakland 10, old line.
I'm fine.
You're doing a great job. Hand flying it is no problem. You got this. Yvonne, you are climbing again, so if you could do me a favor and push the nose over a little bit so we can get you back down in altitude. We don't need you that high right now. Yvonne, you're doing a great job on the descent. If you could come down a little bit, the altimeter on the top right of your cockpit should show right now that you're at 20 with a 2. Do you see that? 20,200 feet?
What do you want me at?
I just want you to see it so that you can see what I'm talking about. If I say that you're too high or too low, right now you're at 199, and you're doing a great job. We just need wings level, and we don't need you to climb or descend right now. So do you see your altimeter?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so right now you're currently level at flight level 200 or 20,000 feet. And if you can maintain your altitude, that's all we need from you right now. And if you look outside off the tip of the nose, you should see the coast. Do you see the coast?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we want to keep the coast off your right-hand side. So if you could do me a favor and point the nose a little bit to the left, we want to get you away from the coast back towards Bakersfield, which is in the center of California, back towards the open plains. That's perfect, Yvonne. You made a left-hand turn just like that. Your altitude's looking good. We don't need you to go too far to the left, just back towards the open farmland, if that's okay with you. Right there is perfect, Yvonne. If you could just get the wings level again, level with the horizon. You don't need to climb, you don't need to ascend. Your altitude is good. We don't need you to turn anymore. Your heading is fantastic. Yvonne, you're doing a fantastic job keeping those wings level. Your altitude is really good. I would have thought you were a King Air pilot. How are you doing, Yvonne?
13 on the one hand up, Southwest 2896.
I'm okay.
Okay, you are doing okay. You're doing a great job. Now that we have a stable flight, your altitude is level, your heading is level, I want you to look around the cockpit. I want you to just locate some items for me. Nothing critical right now, but I want you to look for things so that later down the line, they're not time critical. Something like the landing gear knob, you don't need that right now, I just want you to find it. Landing gear, right now the landing gear should be in the up position. When we get closer to Bakersfield, we'll need it in the down position, but not right now. Also, something I want you to look for is the flaps indicator. Right now the flaps are up, but when we get closer, we'll need to bring the flaps down so we can slow the aircraft down. Again, nothing you have to do right now, I just want you to look for things. Yvonne, were you able to find the landing gear knob and the flap indicator?
Yes.
What was that, Yvonne? I missed it.
Yes, I found it.
Okay, great. I just want you to find it. You're doing a great job keeping the airplane level. Make sure you're looking outside as well, so we're pointing in the right direction. You're climbing a little bit. We want you back down at 20,000 feet if you can. Just remember where the landing gear and the flaps are. We'll use that later. Good job getting back down to 20,000 feet. That's exactly what we needed. Now, Yvonne, when you can, we'd like your phone number so we can call you on the ground just so we can talk to you once you're safely down. Perfect, thank you. And we'll make sure we give you a call once you're on the ground. Right now, your heading is perfect. You're pointing right at Bakersfield. Your altitude is perfect. And there's another King Air about 3 miles behind you. He's 2,000 feet below you. Troy 315, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yvonne, you're doing good for now. I will talk to you more once I get closer to Bakersfield, but you're doing really good right now.
So Yvonne, we just did a flight plan readout on you. You're about 15 minutes away from Bakersfield. Right now, you don't need to do anything. You're pointing in the right direction. Your altitude is good. Just to let you know that you're about 15 minutes out from Bakersfield. As we get closer to Bakersfield, we will need to start slowing down the airplane. We'll start descending the airplane and getting ready to land. Is that okay with you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, now just be advised that as we get closer and we start our descent, we will have to reduce power. So the throttle levers, the two left levers on the center column are going to be the throttle levers. Those are going to be the ones that will just bring down a little bit so that we reduce power. The reason why we reduce power is because as you point the nose down to descend, if those power levers are still up, you will go too fast. And we don't want to go too fast because then we won't be able to control the airplane too well. So just to give you a heads up, we will have to reduce power so we can slow down. Once we can slow down enough, we'll put the flaps down, we'll put the gear down, and we'll get ready to land. Yvonne, is that okay with you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's the plan. I'd say in about 5 minutes or so, we'll begin our descent. And again, to descend, all we'll do is just slowly reduce the power levers, not by much, and we'll point the nose down. But for now, we don't need to do any of that, just to give you a heads up of what the plan is.
Lieutenant Troy 315, we got the King Air in sight, and we have another target or 9 o'clock.
Troy 315, roger. That traffic at 10 o'clock and 3 miles southeastbound is a PC-12 descending out of 17,000.
Copy.
Yvonne, are you able to look outside and see the city of Bakersfield?
No, I don't see Bakersfield.
That's okay. That's not a big deal. You're still pretty far away. But what we are going to do is going to keep you pointed toward Bakersfield right now. Even though you don't see it, that's where you're headed. And in about probably 2 to 3 minutes, we'll start our descent. You are turning a little bit to the right. We'd like you to go back to the left a little bit, if that's okay. Yvonne, how are you doing? Are you able to come back to the left a little bit?
Flight Sector 3, Fresno, question.
Yvonne, are you still with me? I'm sorry, Yvonne. I think someone was talking over you. Can you say that again?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so your heading is now back where it needs to be, and we're going to slowly begin our descent. We're going to do nice and controlled descent. So before we even touch the power levers, I'd like you to just push the nose over, and you'll see that your airspeed will start increasing. Can you do that for me? Don't do it very hard, just a light tap. If you want, you can do it with the trim wheel on your left side. The trim wheel right now was trimmed for level flight, and if you spin it up towards the sky, it'll start pushing the nose down. Yvonne, were you able to find the trim wheel and spin it towards the sky?
Yes.
Okay, and did you notice that the plane was starting to push nose down?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. That's all we want right now is a slight nose down trim. And once you're established in that nose down trim, we're going to reduce the power just a little bit because we don't want the aircraft to speed up too much.
15 Bakersfield.
Now, Yvonne, you are turning a little bit to the left. Make sure that we're back towards the right, towards Bakersfield, please.
533 south.
3-4 Bakersfield.
Yvonne, how's that combination going of trim down and reducing the power?
Okay, you want me to reduce the power now?
Yes, once the nose is trimmed down so that you're pointing down a little bit, we want to reduce the power just slightly.
LA 3 Lemoore.
LA Center, Bakersfield approach, radio check on 127.1.
There. Push them together.
Yvonne, when you reduce the power on the throttle, yes, keep the throttles together. That way the aircraft acts as a single engine airplane, and when you do that simultaneously, you shouldn't feel any adverse yawing side to side from the power. And Bakersfield approach, you're allowed clear.
Bakersfield Tower, radio check.
LA Center, Bakersfield Tower, loud and clear, 127.1.
Thank you. Yvonne, I see that we are descending. That's perfect. And how did it go reducing the power?
It's going all right.
Can you say that again? I didn't understand you.
It's going.
Okay, good. I see you are descending. Make sure you keep your wings level. Now, as you descend, we reduce the power so that we don't overspeed the airplane. As we get closer to Bakersfield, we may have to stop the descent and level off. And now, when we do that, we will have to re-increase the power so that we don't lose airspeed. Are you okay with that?
I'll try.
Okay, for now, you're doing great. What I want you to do, because you are descending, the trim wheel on your left side, I want you to spin it back towards the ground, maybe an eighth of a turn to a quarter of a turn, just so we don't need to descend as much as we are. Because right now we're descending maybe a little too much. That's perfect. We don't want to stop the descent. We just don't want to descend too fast before we get to Bakersfield. And right now, Yvonne, your heading is looking great. I see that you did climb back up a little bit. Can you keep the nose pointing down, just so we can get to maybe 17,000 feet? We're currently at 19,000 feet. That's perfect. I see you descending. Your heading is looking great. And we want to continue the descent. We just don't want to go too fast in the descent. If we descend too fast too early, we're going to have to use power to climb back up again. And Troy 315, the King Air at your 1 o'clock less than a mile, descending out of flight level 187. Do you have insight?
Yes, we have the traffic in sight.
Okay. Now, Yvonne, that King Air that was on frequency with us is currently behind you in less than a mile. They're off to your left side. You don't need to do anything, but I just don't want you to be alarmed if they fly next to you.
I'm getting the traffic signal.
Yep, that's not surprising. That traffic is very close, but it's a controlled situation. He sees you, and he's going to stay close to you all the way to Bakersfield. Is that okay?
All right.
Right now, your heading is looking good. Bakersfield, the city, should be slightly off your right side. I don't want you to turn there yet, but I want you to look outside and look for it. Can you do that for me? Yvonne, you are turning a little bit to the right, which we don't need to do yet. If you could come back towards the left.
LA 15, Oakland 10, APREC.
Troy 315, reset transponder squawk 2440.
2440, Troy 315.
Yvonne, your heading is good. Your altitude is looking good. Keep coming down. I like how your rate of descent is. That's looking good. You're not too fast, you're not too slow. How's your airspeed? Can you tell me what your airspeed is showing?
156.
Your airspeed is perfect. As we get closer to Bakersfield, we're going to use our flaps so that we can slow down the airplane more before we land. We don't need to do it yet, but flaps will be the next thing that we look for. Do you remember where that is in the panel?
Flaps? Where the flaps are?
Yeah, do you see the flaps indicator or the flaps selector?
Yes, I see the flaps.
Okay, you don't need to do anything with it yet. I just want to make sure that you see it. Now, you are turning to the left a little bit too much. Can you come back to the right, please?
Los Angeles Sector 3 Lemoore.
Yvonne, you're doing a great job on your heading. Your heading is perfect. Bakersfield is off your right side. We want to keep it off your right side. We don't want to point you directly at Bakersfield, not yet at least. Your current heading is going to set you up to enter for a right traffic pattern. We want to get you as straight as possible, but not too straight that you overshoot it. So right now your altitude is good. You're about 25 to 30 miles away from the Bakersfield Airport. Your altitude is good. And just be advised that there are multiple people on this frequency with us. It's not just me and Kevin anymore. The Bakersfield approach control is on with us. The Bakersfield Tower is on with us. And there are multiple pilots of King Air pilots at the Bakersfield Tower that will start talking to you once you get closer, and they can help you with the minutia of landing. Is that okay with you?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, great. You are coming a little bit too much to the right. If you could come back to the left, and your altitude is looking good. You are at a great altitude. I don't know if you can see the Bakersfield City yet, but it is coming up on your right side.
LA Green Go 01 is joined with the 2. It's going to standby.
Roger. Yvonne, your altitude is looking good. Your heading is looking good. We don't need you to level off yet. I like the rate of descent that you've got going. Are you able to see the city of Bakersfield outside?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. I'm glad you see the city. The airport itself is on the left side of the city, closer to you. So if you think of it as, you know, far end or near end, the airport is on the near end of the city for you before the city really starts, on the kind of left side of the city. Yvonne, right now you're about 19 miles away. I don't need you to see the airport yet. I just want you to start looking outside for it, just so that if it comes up, you know where you're going, what to point to. Right now your heading is looking really good. Your altitude is looking really good. How are you feeling about coming down for descent?
I'm good.
Okay, you are doing really good. If you could come back a little bit towards the left. Yvonne, you're turning to the right a little bit too much. Can you turn towards the left for me? There you go. That's a good left turn. Keep coming to the left a little bit. And when we stop your turn, we're going to make sure that the airport is a little bit on your right side. We just don't want you to fly past the airport. So keep coming down. I like your descent rate. Your descent's looking good. If you are able to, keep coming to the left and keep that nose pointed down so we can continue descending. Can you tell me what your airspeed is?
167.
Okay, so we want to slow the aircraft down so that we can deploy flaps. What I'd like you to do is reduce power just a little bit more so that we can continue the descent without speeding up the airplane. Is that okay?
Los Angeles 3, 10 with information.
Yes.
Okay, great. So bring the power back a little bit more and let me know when your speed is down to about 150.
150.
Okay, that looks great. So I want you to do the first selection on the flap indicator so that we can slow down the airplane and continue our descent. Now when you deploy the flaps, you will feel the plane kind of bounce up as the aircraft changes the wing shape a little bit. So don't be alarmed. You can just push the nose over a little bit to counteract that. As the flaps come down, you may feel an adjustment. So Yvonne, we're a little bit high for how close we are. So what I'd like you to do is turn to the left a little bit while you continue your descent. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like you to continue a left turn and I'll let you know when to stop. And how did it feel when the flaps came down? Did you feel that jolt?
You want me to put my flaps on?
Yeah, I just wanted you to do the first notch of flaps. It should be about 10 degrees, maybe 15 degrees. Nothing major, but we need to put the flaps down so that we can slow down the aircraft while we descend. Yvonne, how's your flap situation coming?
They're on.
Okay, and what number are they showing? Is there an indication to say that they're 15, 20, 10 degrees? Now, Yvonne, your airspeed, can you tell me what your airspeed is?
139.
Okay, now that the flaps are down, you are slowing down a lot, so increase power a little bit so we don't slow down too much. We don't want to go below 100 knots. Yvonne, your heading is looking really good. Your altitude is looking really good. I just want to make sure we don't go too slow. You can stop your turn and continue your descent. Make sure your speed is around 120 to 130. If your speed goes too low, we can add power so that we don't slow down too much. If it goes too high, we can reduce power. Now, Yvonne, you're turning a little bit too much to the left. We want to slowly start coming back to the right. I turned you away from Bakersfield Airport because we were a little high based on your location. And now that we're pointing away from Bakersfield, we are continuing our descent, but we need to come back towards Bakersfield. So if you could start a right-hand turn, and your altitude is looking really good, Yvonne. You're currently showing 7,800 feet. We don't need to descend too much at this point because we are away from the airport and we're turning back towards the airport to the right. You're doing a great job. Add a little bit of power so we stop descending as much as we are. There you go. Keep coming to the right if you could, and add just a little bit of power so we don't descend too much. Yvonne, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so make sure you add a little bit of power. We want to keep the flaps down so we stay slow, but we don't want to descend too much more, so I need you to add power, okay?
Okay, like 150?
Well, we want the speed to be up towards 130, but I don't want you pushing the nose down to increase speed. I'd like you to add power so that we can increase speed. And right now, it looks like your altitude is leveling off, which is great. You're at 6,400 feet. That's a great altitude. If you could stay there, make sure you add power to stay at your altitude. There you go. You slowed down your descent. That's good. We want to make sure you stay level. Right now, you're at 6,000 to 6,100 feet. Can you stay level at 6,000 feet? And don't forget to add power so that we don't lose airspeed while we level off, okay? That's perfect. You're level at 6,000 feet. And can you tell me what your airspeed is, Yvonne? Yvonne, you got to add power. We're going a little too slow. Make sure you add power, Yvonne. Yvonne, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, are you able to add power so our airspeed doesn't get too low?
Yes, 132.
Okay, that's absolutely perfect. Make sure you keep that power setting in so we don't slow down too much. I want you to begin a slow right-hand turn and try to stay level at 6,000 feet. We're going to go right-hand turn to stay level at 6,000 feet. There you go. Your altitude is looking good, 5,900 feet. Try to stay level at 6. You're in a right-hand turn. Continue that right-hand turn. Your altitude is looking good, Yvonne. Your airspeed is looking good from here. I see you're in the right-hand turn. Keep that coming around. We're going to set you up so that as you level off from your turn, you're going to be straight in for Bakersfield Airport. Is that all right?
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, 49 Mike Romeo, Bakersfield approach. If you're monitoring, change my frequency 118.9er. 9 Mike Romeo, 118.9er.
Okay.
Okay.
So right now, you don't have to worry about the gear, but just mentally tell yourself, once we're done turning, we have one more thing to do.
4 Bakersfield.
Yvonne, you're looking really good. Your altitude is fantastic. Your speed is looking really good. You're doing a good job controlling the airplane. How are you feeling, Yvonne?
Great.
Yvonne, you are climbing a little bit, so I want to make sure that you try to keep that plane level at 6,000 feet. And your airspeed is looking good. It's slowing down a little bit too much because you're climbing in that turn. So if you just push the nose over to descend back down to 6,000, your airspeed will fix itself. You don't have to touch the throttles. There you go. Your airspeed's coming back the way it needs to be. Keep that turn coming. I know this is a big turn. That's perfect. I want you to stop your turn, please. Stop your turn and just focus on keeping the wings level and the nose level. The nose should be pointed at the horizon and your wings should be level so we stop our turn. Let me know when you've done that. Yvonne, were you able to stop your turn? Yvonne, you're looking really good. It looks like you stopped your turn. Can you tell me what your airspeed is?
140.
Okay, Yvonne, what I would like you to do is on the left side of the throttle quadrant, there's a gear lever. It's a white circle, and I'd like you to push that down. You might have to pull it out and then push it down, but we want to get that gear down, which is going to slow us down. And once we slow down, we want to point the nose a little bit towards the ground because the aircraft will start slowing down. And by pushing the nose towards the ground, we're going to prevent ourselves from slowing down too much. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. We're turning back to the left, so make sure that our wings are level and find that gear lever. Let me know when you're able to get the gear down. Now, Yvonne, once the gear comes down, you're going to feel some bumps and shakes as the aerodynamics of the airplane change. So don't be alarmed that you're going to, feel those shakes. The airspeed will start to slow down, so we're going to have to push the nose over a little bit. How are you feeling? Yvonne, can you talk to me?
Get the gear down.
I cut you off, Yvonne. Can you say that again?
I cannot get the gear down.
What's happening when you pull on the gear levers?
It's climbing.
Got it.
You got it. Do you have 3 green indicators on the panel?
I'm good. I got the gear down, but I have to get...
Okay, now that the gear is down, I'd like you to push the nose over a little bit because you're climbing again, and we need to get you descending for Bakersfield. Bakersfield is, if you're familiar with the 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock sort of navigation, it's at your 11 o'clock in about 10 miles. Yvonne, can you turn back towards the left for me? There you go. I see you're descending, Yvonne, and it looks like you're turning back towards the left. We just need a slight turn to the left. We're looking for the airport outside. There you go. Your heading is perfect, Yvonne. You don't need to turn any further to the left. Your altitude is looking good, and it looks like we're speeding up a little bit. Can you reduce the power on the throttles? We want to keep that airspeed around 130 to 120 at this point. Yvonne, your airspeed is looking really good. Your altitude is a little high. Can you start your descent while keeping the airspeed where it's at? There you go, Yvonne. Keep coming down. You're currently at 6,800 feet. The elevation of Bakersfield Airport is only 100 feet, so we have about 500 feet. So we have about 6,200 feet to go. And your airspeed is looking good. Your altitude is looking good. The airport itself is going to be at your 1 o'clock and about 8 miles right now. Yvonne, are you able to look outside and look for the airport?
Yes, I see.
You see the airport?
Yes, I see the airport.
Okay, great. I want you to point the nose at the airport, and you can bring the throttles back a little bit so we can continue our descent. Now, I want you to know that as you continue your descent, I can't see you, but the pilots at the tower are able to see you, so they're going to take over and guide you in. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think the pilots are going to come on now. You can see the airport, keep the nose pointed at the airport, and keep descending.
Hi, Yvonne. This is John at Bakersfield. How are you?
I'm okay.
Looks like you're doing really well lining up with the runway. Do you see the runway? Yvonne, do you have the runway in sight at Bakersfield?
I have it. On my screen, I have Bakersfield. But
Can you see it out of the front windscreen? It should be off of your right side. Can you see the airport off of your right side, Yvonne?
it's under my wing. I'm passing it up.
Okay, can you start a turn to the left? Do you have the nose pointed towards the ground slightly still, Yvonne?
Yes, I do.
I've got you in sight over the tower. Keep the nose pointed down as you are. What is your current airspeed?
149.
All right, that's just fine. You can leave the power where it is and just keep coming down. I see that you're in a left turn now. You can keep that left turn going, and now the airport will be off of your left side. Yvonne, the airport's right off your right side.
I see it, thank you.
Okay, Yvonne, as you make this left turn, okay, you can fly over the top of the runway towards the west. As you cross over the field, in about 20 seconds, you'll make a right turn back towards the north to parallel the runway, northbound. Your altitude looks good. Are your torque settings at about 10 right now?
Not sure.
Yvonne, keep the right turn going to parallel the runway towards the north. It will be a
15
heading
so
of
that
300.
Tower, please be advised there's a Troy 315 behind the King Air, behind Evans.
Yvonne, make a slight turn back to the left. All right, as you continue your right turn, line up with runway 12. You're looking for about 120 knots. If you need to pull the power back, about 700 foot per minute descent, 110 to 120 knots. Yvonne, what is your current speed?
122.
Perfect. Keep it at least 120. Come back towards the runway. You'll have to turn before you get to the runway in order to line up on the runway. Yvonne, do you see the freeway out your right?
Yes, I do.
Can you go along the freeway for a little bit? Keep it on your right-hand side for now. Yvonne, can you make the wings level now at your current heading? Just level the wings so you can stop your turn. All right, turn to the right, back towards the runway. Okay, Tower, I think you might want to let her go out a little bit further so she has more time to set up on the runway.
Victor 4 and low point up.
Yvonne, look out of your right window and you'll see the runway there. Big, dark runway. Big, dark strip. Do you see that? Off your right window.
Your speed's looking good. If you see the runway off your right, keep a right turn to line up on top of the runway.
Yes, I see it.
All right, keep that runway and try and put it right underneath the airplane and keep the airplane coming down towards it. That 120 knots is great. Just keep the nose of, once you roll out on the runway, keep your right turn coming to line up straight with the runway. It's the big dark strip. All right, keep your speed at 120 and start pulling the throttles towards close. Pull them back, pull them back. Close the throttles, Yvonne. All the way back. Pull them back towards you and touch both of the brake pedals with your toes. Go ahead and bring the airplane to stop. The right two levers, the ones closest to you, are fuel levers. Close them towards you. The levers closest to you, red levers closest to you, bring them towards you to cut them off.
Good job, Yvonne.
Thank you.
You're my hero,
Way.
Hey, well done, Yvonne.
Woo!
Yvonne, you're my hero.
We need an ambulance.
Four Bakersfield.
Come out here.
Yeah, Yvonne, you got a lot of people heading to you right now. They'll be there in a second.
And 4 Bakersfield. 4 Bakersfield.
All right, R3 back to normal off.
Tower, Troy, 3 on 5.
Troy saying something.
Yeah. You got any questions here?
I'll just talk to Troy. What was its call sign?
All
Full
right.
call sign, Troy what?
Troy 315.
Troy 315?
With King Air.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so
I got it.
we just need to get Bakersfield. Bakersfield needs a...
Troy 315, you back up?
Troy 315 on frequency. Is any of the runways open? Can we land any of them?
Yeah, Troy with 315. This is LA Center. So switch to Bakersfield. Switch to Bakersfield 118.8, and you'll talk to them. They'll get you on the right frequency.
All right, we'll do. Thank you.
See you, sir. Thank you for all the help.